All right, what's going on, guys? We're here for part 2 of the How I Mix Koja video. If you can't tell, it's obviously a couple minutes after I filmed the last one. So, I'm trying to get all these done. In a couple of minutes, I gotta get the kids up to go to daycare. So, we are going to start with a bass today, the best instrument ever, the instrument that predates guitar. Thank you. Bass is the place. Bass is awesome. Okay, here we go. So, with the bass. Didn't do nothing super crazy with it, honestly. I just needed something really nice, powerful to cut through and just be super boomy and differentiate from the kick and really just kind of glue between the kick and the toms, which, like David Ellison says, the bass is a mortar between the bricks. So that's pretty much just what I did. So we're going to go to that right there. And like I said, nothing crazy. Ambient bass from Easy Mix Tune Track. Like I said, I went through every single thing, and man, yeah, it took a long time, but ended up going through and finding ambient bass. Where was it? I don't remember where it was, but yeah, it was right there, ambient bass, first one. Yeah, that was the first one I played, and I was like, that sounds really good. I might go with that one. I tried every single one here, and then I was like, okay, cool, that's gonna work for me. So really, just took it from this. Do this. Now tell me that doesn't sound menacing. Like, come on, man. That's the intro music you play. That's the bass line you play when the gorilla walks out versus the 100 guys. That's what you play right there. Just. Yeah, that was awesome. I put the delay up a little bit and then matched it with the reverb so it has that awesome kind of little, delay effect. And has kind of that little feeling of someone or something coming toward you with intensity. So yeah, that was, oh man, I was so happy I got that good of a tone. And now we're going to go to lead guitar 1. So lead guitar and rhythm guitar both play rhythm, but I just differentiate them just so I can have multiple tracks, use different guitars and for harmonies. And then solo guitar 1 does the actual solos / leads. And then guitar 3 sometimes does harmonies, but what usually does them with chords along with the rhythm and lead guitar. And sometimes they do individual note harmonies if I'm doing like a lead and a rhythm harmony and I want like a third note in there. If I want like the whole chord played in harmonies, I'll do that or something like that. But with that, so I really wanted to get, this was my first real experience using 2 different guitar tones. Everyone does it. All the metal bands use it. You different guitar tones, talk about like putting them together and everything. But I never really bothered doing that because I was lazy and I wanted to hurry up and record and get the song done. So this is my first time. Like I said, I had 5 weeks. I just really sat down, experimented, and man, this took so long because you would find one tone and then you'd have to go through all the other tones. And then I would also use the same tone for both guitars. And I was like, that wouldn't be right. But I would change one small thing about it, but it still wouldn't work. So I was like, okay, I really need to choose like 2 different separate tones. And then, blending them together, finding one tone and then find another one that fits so well with it and actually accentuates it, adds to it, does something different, but still keeps it kind of like a uniform sound it was a process, but obviously, I eventually figured it out. So with this one, this is pretty much, stock sound, of course. So I put Tosin Rhythm 1 on, I went to guitars. Oh, that scroll looks like that. Where is it? Tosin. Where is it? Oh, I'm in favorites, that's why. So I went to guitars, Tosin Rhythm 1. Not the first one, it was like all the way down here near the end, so that definitely took me a while. But I finally found that, and I was like, put the drive down all the way, and then put the presence up a little bit, and that made it sound like from this to this. so that was that. And then that little, I loved that. Like, oh my God, that sounded doomy. That sounded like sort of a little black metal-y. You know, I don't listen to black metal that much. And then it was like, it just fit the whole mood. It fit the artwork of Koja. It fit the whole vibe I was going for this particular song. Because, Flood of Reaper was like the very first Koja song I ever made. And it was like, oh my God, it fit like the aesthetic I was going for as far as like the black and white artwork and everything. So I was like, okay, that's great. That's great. Tosin just steady winning, bro. Steady winning. So did that for the lead guitars. Then we'll go down to the rhythm guitar. So the rhythm guitar, this is really where most of the time went, because I was trying every tone, every combination, changing all the knobs in every position, and oh my goodness, it was just so annoying, man. Like, it just took, like, listening to it over and over and over again, just on loop, just like what fits with it, what doesn't, and maybe like this one sounds good, but if I need to change the knob a little bit to make it sound like right where I want it, and that didn't work, and I was like, oh my God. Oh man, it was so annoying. But finally managed to find it. Frederick guitar line below, which is closer to the top, almost, well, not really in the middle, but closer to the top. I put the delay timing up a little bit, just kind of offset that little thing at the end of the Tosin rhythm one. And then I put the delay level at the same, because that was really the only place that it sounded really good to me. And so what I found was when they all go together, they have this kind of weird, like, ethereal, buzzy atmosphere. And the Frederick guitar line is a little, I guess, cleaner, smoother, and brighter than the Tosin rhythm one. And the tones just fit perfectly. Like, Tosin rhythm one is like a little bit scratchier, grittier, and a little bit more like staticky, whereas this one is a smoother, a little bit brighter, so this is what it sounded like first, and this is what it sounds like with the Frederick guitar line below on there. Yeah, so got that, and then together, I'm gonna turn this down. So this is what they sound like together. Yeah, and they just sound great together, because you have just the... Oh, wait, no, I didn't even play them together, my bad. So this is what they sound like together. Yeah, I think that delay just makes them sound amazing. Like, they drag on the same amount of time, they have the same amount of intensity. So like, this is the rhythm by itself, and this is the lead by itself, and like I said, once you get them together, it's just it just grabs you instantly. There's drama, there's like fear, there's darkness, there's intensity. I love it. They just sound so well together. Man, those tones go well together, man. I'm so glad that I found those tones. And man, it was definitely a long time, but man, they sounded so good together. I remember when I first heard it, I was like, oh wow, this is atmosphere here. I never made anything with that much atmosphere before, and man, it sounded amazing. I was so happy with it. Yeah, so now we're gonna go to guitar 3, and I don't think I did. I think I did. Let me see here. Yeah, Tosin rhythm 1. So for guitar 3, I don't choose a different guitar sound. Like I said, it's just for extra chunk, extra beefiness, and if there's harmonies, I play those individual notes, but more than often it's just like, if I'm playing like a regular power chord, I'll play like the whole major chord. Or no. Well, sometimes I'll play the whole major chord, sometimes I'll play the whole minor chord, depending on what harmonies I want to put, but usually I'll just play the power chord with that extra octave of the root note. But sometimes I will play a major chord or the full minor chord on it, just to, give it some extra chunk. And, right here, you can hear I didn't really do too much with it. Let's see here. Where'd it go? Yeah, right here. so you know, nothing super crazy with it, just like a little slight variation on it. Just let me see if I can play all these up. My computer blowing up. Let me turn it down here. Yeah, so I wasn't originally actually gonna put a third guitar track in here, but as you can hear, let me turn up just a little bit in case you couldn't hear it before. It really adds like I know I keep saying like doominess, but it just adds more doominess to it. It gives it like a darker color to the sound, and it gives it a whole really different mood. Really just there's something following you, something's coming, it's close, better watch out. And as you can see, that actually doesn't start until we're a minute and a half into the song. So at first you're just hearing the rhythm and the lead, then that comes in and you're like, oh, something's coming, you know, really gets your attention. Because one thing I never, you know, I'm like a thrash, you know, power death metal kind of guy, so I'm really into speed and everything. So all these long songs, these drawn out riffs, I was like, man, I gotta have something, you know, keep people's attention, you know, even though I'm really just writing it for myself. So I was like, something needs to, you know, like once you hear that, you're so used to just hearing the two guitars. Once you hear that, it'll kind of wake you up. You're like, oh wow, what's that? Something's coming, you know. I just want to kind of build on that feel of the lead and the rhythm guitars, you know. Plus, it's a little, you know, not necessarily heavier, but it's a little deeper in tone than the other two guitar tracks, so it also helps, you know, accentuate the bass as well. The bass kind of goes with that too. So that was something I just wanted to throw in there. It was a third guitar, and man, oh man, that sounds so good. All right, I'm turning these off. Now I'm gonna do the solo guitar. Like I haven't looked at this song in like years, also, so I don't even remember what tone numbers I use. Usually after I record a song and release it, I don't really look back at it except to get the stems, put them, you know, in somewhere for safekeeping. So, oops, actually knocked the camera a little bit. There we go. So, solo guitar 1, solo guitar 2, and I should have called this solo guitar 3 and that solo guitar 2, but I guess since I probably just copied the track and then put that in for the harmonies, that's what I did. So, for solo guitar 1, what did I do? Easy mix tune, Tosin Rhythm 1. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, let me check something here real quick first. Dry present. Yeah, same settings. Okay, so pretty much I just did the same settings I did for the lead guitar, Tosin Rhythm 1. Now, I did try, you know, some lead tones, but you know, one thing I also learned was just because it says the lead tone doesn't mean necessarily going to sound good on your leads, especially like I said with all the tone density I got going on between the drums, the bass, the guitars, the vocals, and you know when I had keys in the song, of course keys. None of the lead tones really sounded good. You know, not even the Tosin lead ones, lead 1, lead 2, dry. What other ones were there? Like main lead, dry, Ryan, main lead, stereo, delay. I really thought the delay one would work really well, but ambient chorus lead I thought would work well, but they just clashed too much. I didn't really like the sound, so I was like, hey, let's try Tosin Rhythm 1. So I did that, and that's what it sounded like at first. You can hear all that string noise, but and this is what it sounds like with the tone. Yeah, so that's what I did for that. And then I think I did Tosin Rhythm 1 for this harmony lead as well. Let me see. Let's see. What did I do for you? Yeah, Tosin Rhythm 1 here, drive down present. So like I said, this was just for harmonies. So instead of just the track sounding like this right here, I need more. More. Like I'm Oliver Twist. So I was like, let's harmonize. Yeah, so I put some harmonies in there. You hear those like a lot more in the. I don't know why they sound so low here, but you hear them a lot more like in the final mix. You can definitely tell they're there. I don't know why they're so low, but yeah, that's the tones for the guitars, rhythm guitar, and then I guess I'll do vocals next, and then I'll go to a track where I did keyboards, so I can show y'all what I did with the keys. Y'all like this video? Y'all can like, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching, and rock on.